Hey everyone, welcome back. So I'm slowly gonna get back into it. Like I said, I was on vacation for about a week and a half. So just came back and I didn't get a chance to wash the Grand Prix before I left. So it hasn't been washed in like 2 weeks. It's a bit dirty, so I'm gonna be playing around with the Ultra Black Sponge, and if I don't feel comfortable enough, then again I'll just switch over to the multiple towel method. Now today's Rinseless Wash, we're gonna be showcasing American Detailer Garage Fuzion. Now this is a foaming concentrate. They call it a hybrid wash. You're going to need a dedicated foaming pump sprayer to use this as a foaming product. So I'm going to be using it as a pre-soak, and I'm also going to be using it as a rinseless wash. And so we'll get into all the detail of this in a second here. What I want to mention first, and then we're going to talk about the Marilix foaming pump spray at some point in depth. Right now I'm just going to use it right out of the box the way it comes, and we'll kind of, eventually I'll do a video dedicated to that and kind of just play around with the different tips. And but for now I'm just going to use it out of the box. Now before I get into that, I'm going to start mentioning this on every single video I do for a rinseless wash product, and that's the ongoing debate that whether or not a particular rinseless wash product leaves something behind. I think that is one of the dumbest ongoing debates that continues to go on, and people bring it up, and we're going to get away from that. Here's the big thing: I don't care if it leaves anything behind. What I'm more concerned about is whether or not the product does the job in safely cleaning the paint in a rinse-free manner. That's the key thing. Whether it's leaving dirt, dropping the big dirt or whatever particles at the bottom, or we're not gonna look at that. All we're gonna look at is, hey, the chemist created this product. It's designed to clean, and it's designed to remove dirt safely from your paint. And so all I'm gonna say is, here's the product, here's how to use it, and does it do the job in terms of cleaning the paint? That is it. We're not gonna get into this, does it leave anything behind sort of thing. Again, I think that's one of the dumbest debates that continues to go on. If the product states that it uses polymers or surfactants, I'm just going to read whatever's on the label. We're not going to go into the topic of, oh, it's leaving something behind, it's going to alter surface tension. You can use a product, this product here from Throttle, even though it doesn't leave anything behind on the surface in terms of protection, it is going to alter the surface tension to a degree until it's washed off. Now, polymers that are left behind by rinseless wash product are not durable durable form of protection. That's gone after a wash or two. So we're not going to get into all that whole thing. Again, I think that's one of the dumbest debates that continues to go on. And people always bring up ONR and N914. We're going to get away from that. We're just going to say, hey, here's a rinseless wash product. It's designed to safely clean your paint. Does it work? Yes or no? And would I recommend somebody to buy it? That's all we're going to do from now on, going forward from these rinseless wash products. If you guys want to talk amongst yourself whether it leaves something behind, hey, that's completely up to you. And everybody's going to chime in that this particular product is the best. Hey, if that works for you, continue to use it. For those of you who are always interested in trying something different, just buy a smaller bottle of a rinseless wash, 16-ounce bottle. Once you go through it, transition to something else. That's the great thing about it. You have plenty of options, and you can always go back and forth, and then eventually you can settle on something that you find to be, quote, the best. So that's what we're going to be going on from now on with these rinseless wash products. And I'm going to mention every single video. I don't care if it leaves anything behind the surface. We're not going to get into that debate. Just move on as long as it does the job in a safe manner. Okay, that spiel out of the way, let's get into the product. So now we're going to talk about American Detailer Garage Fuzion. Again, they call this a hybrid wash because you can actually use this as a traditional wash product. It tells you right here, during this wash process, the user can rinse the surface off with a water source before drying, and then you go use this in your bucket to wash. And it tells you how to use it here, which is 128:1 for a rinseless wash. And I believe that's the same as a traditional wash, is the same dilution, 128:1. As a rinse-free wash, again, this is your typical rinseless wash process. Again, dilution is 128:1. Okay, it says using a dedicated foaming sprayer will allow the maximum foaming capabilities, ideal for maintaining ceramic coated vehicles. So there you go, safe for ceramic coated vehicles, which means it's safe for waxes and sealants. So I'm going to read this. Fuzion blends modern chemistry to create a wash solution that is ideal as a traditional wash soap or as a rinse-free wash option. This unique product relies on special lubricating polymers blended with surface surfactants to offer users a variety of options for the wash process. Pretty straightforward stuff. If you want to use this in a foam cannon, you use it full strength, no dilution. So we're going to be using it as a pre-soak. So the dilution is 1 to 20. Let's put that. Okay, so 1 ounce of product to 20 ounces of water. And I'm going to be using it as a rinseless wash, which is 1 to 128. So basically 1 per 1 gallon of water. Now Fuzion, if you're going to use it as a waterless wash and a foamer, think of it as an ammo frothy type product that's designed to foam with an aerator type pump sprayer here. And I know there's going to be a lot of debate and says, Larry's the first one that came up with it. Don't use anything else besides that. Again, because I test products, there's plenty of options on the market, and we're going to just see is like, as a water, I rarely do waterless washes, but maybe we'll do one with this and kind of compare it with these other two here and kind of say, hey, does it really work as a foaming waterless wash? So we're going to kind of just play around with things here. Don't be closed-minded, be open-minded and kind of just say, okay, here's this product. And if you want to continue to use ammo, hey, I'm not going to tell you not to use it. Go ahead and use it. It's a good product. I've been playing around with it. So it's good stuff. This Adams foaming wash is another good one. So, each one has its pros and cons, and we'll eventually get to that in a separate video here. But for the time being, keep your mind open. There's lots of options in the market. If you don't want to try anything new, stick with what you know. So let me just shake this up here. And also, I put 30 ounces of water in here, which is equivalent to, I don't know what that is, 900 milliliters. I don't even know what the heck that is of water. There's this cool link here. It's called Omni Calculator, which can calculate your dilution for you. So I would say, okay, final volume. I can set it to whatever, what do you call it? I can't even think of it at the top of my head here. Whatever I want to choose here, ounces or milliliters, whatever. So I'm going to choose ounces because I'm in the US. So I'll put 30. Dilution is 1 to 20. Actually, let me take that back. So we're going to do 30 ounces of water. I should have filled out the water volume here, 1 to 20, and it's automatically going to tell me I'm going to use 1.5 ounces of concentrate. If I wanted to do this in milliliters, I just find it here. It's 44 milliliters, and final volume I'm going to end up with is 31.5 ounces. So it's actually a pretty neat little calculator. I'll post a link if you guys want to use it. So this one is in milliliters, so 44, so 50s, so 40s here, 50s here. We'll go roughly in the middle of that, right around there. That's roughly about 44 milliliters. Now I put 30 in here because I'm going to be doing wheels as well. And one of the drawbacks to the SBTA foamer, this one here, is this one tends to use a lot more product than necessary. So I grabbed this brush here because I'm going to stir this up here. So that's one of the drawbacks to that SBTA foamer, is it tends to use more product than our traditional sprayer. I've tested that with a non-foaming and foaming, and it tends to use a lot more product. Okay, now because I already know that dilution for a rinseless wash is 128 to 1, I have 2 ounces in here, so that means I'm going to pour out 60 milliliters, because 60 milliliters equals 2 ounces. That's kind of the drawback with this product here, is if you just kind of stir this in here. If you want to use, so like I said, let me take that back. So one of the drawbacks to this is the dilution in comparison to Wipeout. Wipeout again has, I think this one is 1 ounce per 2 gallons. So you're gonna get twice as much versus this, which is 128 to 1. Okay, I'm gonna be using throttle as a drying aid, So one of the things about this ultra black sponge is it doesn't need to be soaking in here very long. So let's move on to the car. And we're going to pump away. So first time using the Mirrorlux pumper. And about 30 ounces is actually about the right amount of product to go through a mid-sized vehicle here. You can see how dirty my car is here. It's pretty darn dirty. So when you pump this, it has a pressure relief valve, so if you have excess amount of product, eventually it'll stop for you. And I'm trying to see if we can get to that point. I may just go ahead and start using it. Okay. Oop. Now I didn't fully pressurize this thing. Now this I can already tell that this has a more consistent spray pattern. Than the SPTA. Missed that spot there, and it's a lot lighter as well. So we'll just put that down there. So let's try the ultra black sponge first. Now as a pre-soak, I'm letting it break down and encapsulate the dirt in the suds. And so I'm using the sponge and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to be just dunking it into my bucket. I'm only doing one bucket method here. And we'll take a look and see how the dirt is at the end, but you get the concept here. So what I can see right away is it has plenty of lubrication. On the surface. I missed that mirror, but and I'm using no pressure on the mitt. Again, so we're just testing out this product. Cleaning capability. Like I said, it's got plenty of lubrication. I can see it breaking down the dirt in here. And I'm going to come back and wipe it down in a second. Yeah, it's actually working pretty good. Let's get the back. So I'm rubbing the sponge against the grit guard on the bottom. Okay. Actually, I don't just. Actually, it's working pretty darn good. Missed this spot here. And I'll have to get that later. Okay. So I'll save that for the next panel here. Now I always use a drying aid. Now whether it uses protection or not, that's completely up to you. In this instance, I don't need protection. I'm just using this. Ooh, throttle, man, we hit in the back of the throat. It's like cough syrup. But like I said, I will do that. There's a little bit of dirt up here, but these coatings have, you know, pretty much done. And again, I'm taking advantage that the solution, Fuzion, is allowing me to pick up any remaining dirt safely off the painted surface. Okay, trust the science that went into the product. So you can see I hit some dirt at the very bottom down there. Easy remedy, just flip your towel over to a clean side, because the bottom is the dirtiest part of the vehicle. Here you can see I got some dirt that was in this channel. Okay, and what I would do is I'll come back with a secondary towel. Yeah, these coatings are done up here. I'll just come back with a secondary towel and just buff off the excess mixture of throttle Now, one thing about throttle, I think I've mentioned this multiple times, is it takes on the attribute of whatever's on the, it's been applied over. Meaning, if I didn't use, so if I use a slick product, it will take that, it will take on that aspect. If I used a product that's not slick, then it's going to take over that aspect. And then you can see that there's still some foam in here. that's okay. That eventually will dissipate. I can get these by cracking open the door. Now I can see there's more dirt on this area here. So clean this part here. Again, trust the science of the product. See, I picked up some dirt because honestly this car was a lot dirtier than I would actually feel safe to use a rinseless wash. But again, trust the science that went into the product, that it's gonna safely pick up the dirt without scratching. If I wanted to, I could bring a light and show you that it's pretty safe. I'll tell you what, this thing works really good. And because this side's already dirty, I can use it to clean the glass. Because the glass is not going to swirl. Okay, just come back with your secondary towel and buff any excess residue off. And because I left this sitting on here, I left the mark. There's my drying aid. Is my pocket, and again the glass is pretty dirty, and I used an existing side that was already dirty. Back and dry this off. And I'm losing daylight because I came out here kind of late because it was a little too hot today, and honestly I wasn't really too motivated to come out here. But I was like, let me just wash my car because I do want to polish the Camaro this weekend and get that out of the way. So just keep flipping your towel over to a clean side. Doing that, you're always going to have a clean surface, so you're not grinding dirt if that's what you're afraid of. Now here, because I have this pile of liquid in here, and again, most of you have plenty of towels on this to use up. So again, not a big deal. Let me put this here for now because I do want to show you the surface now that it's clean. So I've gone around, cleaned half of it. I got to come back into this front piece here, but I mean, here's a definitive dirt line to see what I was working with. So you can I can already tell you that Fuzion as a rinseless wash works pretty good, and it does clean. And so I'm leaving the surface, and if I go over it right here, I don't have any dirt on the surface. I got this little piece here But again, these coatings up here are pretty much dead. They've all lost hydrophobic behavior. Like I said, if I want to get, I don't have my keys, this excess foam, pop open the door, clean it off. If I want to get this excess here foam, roll the window down, clean inside the door jambs, which I need to, I mean inside the window jamb, which I need to do anyway because it's pretty dirty. But the surface is clean. Like I said, you saw the definitive line halfway on the car. You can actually see it from here that side is dirty. So right away I can tell you that Fuzion is doing a good job cleaning. Has good lubrication. We'll get out to the final details here because I want to go ahead and finish this, and then I'll come back and do final thoughts. But again, initial impressions of Fuzion so far, real good. Good cleaning, good lubrication, and yeah, it's doing a good job. So let me just go ahead and finish the other side, and I'll finish the wheels here. I'm going to do the same process. I'm actually going to transfer that solution to my wheel bucket, and then I'm just going to use that same solution in there. I'll have plenty of solution in the pump sprayer here to do the wheels as well. But yeah, so far so good. Let me just go ahead and finish up, and we'll come back to final thoughts on the car. But I think the proof is there that this stuff works good. And so yeah, we're going to do, the next one we're going to do is maybe I'll do my dad's car with Wipeout, and I'll show you what Wipeout can do, and then we'll do a hybrid wash with these three, and then we'll call it good with these. But yeah, so far so good. So let me finish up, and then I'll come back to final thoughts. All right, everyone, welcome back. Final thoughts on American Detailer Garage Fuzion. It got dark on me. Finished washing the Grand Prix. I use Fuzion in two different ways, as a foaming pre-soak and also as a rinseless wash. Now, if you want to take advantage of the foaming pre-soak, you're going to need a foaming pump sprayer of some sort. Pick whatever one works for you. I chose to use the Marilix version. If you use it with a non-foaming pump sprayer, you're not going to get the foaming capability. And you're probably going, oh, what's the big deal of having it foam? Let me put it this way. Think of the foaming pre-soak as the snow foam in your traditional bucket wash. People like doing it. Is there any benefit to it? Again, the debate's going to continue to going on about that. Just think of it that way and just have fun with the wash process. It's like, hey, you know, the foaming process is going to have the scrubbing bubbles effect, and you know, as it's breaking down the dirt, you'll see it in the foam. And so I noticed that the pre-soak, this was doing a real good job of breaking down heavier contaminants on the surface. And so when I came back with the rinseless wash with the ultra black sponge, I noticed that that easily wiped off with the sponge as I applied it on the surface. Again, I'm not using the sponges, you know, it's real crazy to agitate the surface. I'm using it to kind of just apply the product onto the surface. Again, just choose whatever wash method you like, whether it's multiple towels, a wash mitt, ultra black sponge. My preference is a sponge. I'm just gonna leave it at that. We've kind of gone down that road before. I'm not going to go into that anymore in discussion. Pick whatever works for you, and then we'll go from there. I think you'll be happy that way. Keep it simple, folks, and just enjoy the wash process. Don't overcomplicate the wash process. The other thing I noticed with the rinseless wash version is it has good lubrication, and again, this product does clean very well, and it wiped off rather easy. So any residual foam that was left in the door jambs, when I opened the door jambs and I wiped those off, I noticed that there wasn't that much film, actually almost zero film left behind. And so again, if you leave any excess product behind and it breaks down, you're not going to have any weird looking film on the surface. So that's one other good thing about the product. So overall, I think this is a very good product. I chose to use the Drynaid with this. In most cases, I'm using a Drynaid of some sort, whether it's leaving some sort of protection or no protection behind. I just chose to use throttle today just to add more gloss to the paint. But technically, you don't need to use Drynaid when you're doing a rinseless wash, because the surface is still wet, and the product is designed to have a layer of something to cushion the towel as you're cleaning and drying the surface. Again, good product. Go ahead and give it a shot. I think it's worth having in your cabinet if you're looking to try a different product than your traditional. You know, everybody always looks for ONR or N914. You know, the market is wide, folks. Keep your an open mind. This is a good product that does a good job. I think the next thing, actually, I've already know this because I've used this let that car go by. I've already done this before where I use this as a hybrid system, and these two work very well together. So if you're looking to try new products, go ahead and pick up the American Detailer Garage stuff, and then you can use this as a pre-soak, and then you can use this as your wash concentrate. I think they both work very well. Again, the market's big, folks. So again, as from a Fuzion perspective, works very well, cleans well, good lubrication, no problems. Definitely give it a shot. Add it to your list of products to try once you used up your current version of a rinseless wash. So thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one. The next one we're going to look at wipeout. So we're going to do this in a non-foaming pump sprayer, and then just wash with again the ultra black sponge. We'll try this out, and I'll probably use throttle or some sort of drying aid with it. And again, we'll check this out, and then the video after that is going to be using these two as a hybrid wash system. And then I think we're going to be done with American Detailer Garage rinseless wash products, and we'll move on to something else. But again, so far Fuzion is a good product. Definitely pick it up, and again, we'll catch you on the next one with wipeout. Again, thanks for watching, and catch you on the next one.